Ryan Poles had a press conference yesterday after the 53-man roster and most of the practice squad was set. Me and Bobby, we're going to break it all down, all the takeaways from that press conference. And was Ryan Poles tripping, cutting Terrell Lewis? We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Bobby in the building, Haize in the building for the daily episode today. Bobby, we had a press conference from GM Ryan Poles yesterday after what was surprisingly an active day yesterday as far as like cuts and signings and things like that. One of the first things that we got was that Terrell Lewis, who had really had a solid training camp and okay preseason, things like that, was waived. We ended up bringing in another defensive end who's better in the run game as far as run defense. But what do you think about me? We were all pretty high on Terrell Lewis coming into this, man. What do you think about Terrell Lewis being cut?
Man, it was a bit surprising, to be honest with you, but I'm not gonna go against what Brian Poles saw when he went up against Kareem. They pretty much, when they was asked the question, they pretty much alluded to, hey, we seen him in joint practice. Had the motor, had the flexibility, had the bend to get around the corner, and he was solid on run defense. A little knock on Terrell Lewis was his run defense. You know what I'm saying? And hey, it's a cutthroat league, man, and we already know. I hope he gets another opportunity, to where he can go ahead and flourish and flash. It's just that this is the way the business is, man. When they feel like somebody is better than you, or could fill the void a little bit better than you, sometimes it's gonna be some tough decisions made. But it was a shocker, though.
Yeah, it definitely was. But this goes and shows that Ryan Poles is always about the fact that he saw somebody in joint practices, that he kept enough notes on it. The moment he hit the waiver wire, Poles is like, bet we about to snatch this dude up. That's crazy.
So they mentioned watching him in the joint practices, and then Ian Cunningham, the assistant GM, said, yeah, we watched his last game as well. With the game that we didn't play them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so they really had their eyes on this guy. So that it just goes to show that these guys are really doing what they say. They looking at everything.
Yeah, looking at everything. And with that evaluation, comes a lot of things. Now, he did say, talked about Travis Gibson, the fact that, it came down to the cut about scheme fit, which, was part of the rumor that he wanted to go more towards a 3-4 defense, even though Gibson came out and said, hey, I didn't request a trade. He still ends up getting cut. Do you think that that's the right move for the Bears long term? Remember, we've seen what he can look like on an overall good defensive line. Do you think the Bears may end up regretting cutting Gibson?
No, I don't think they're gonna regret it, man. It's sometimes even if it, let's just say for the sake of discussion, that the guy goes somewhere else and he goes and gives that team 10 sacks. Yeah. You live with it, man. You live with it. And I think one thing that was made clear is that they feel that he was able to flourish better in the 3-4 defense. And the Bears, we know, runs a 4-3. So to me, it was all about scheme. And then I honestly think that they want him to see it. I don't think that those type of guys want to see somebody fail. So why not give him an opportunity to go play in the scheme that's best for him? So that's how I look at that.
Facts. I mean, like you said, did get picked up by the Titans, who picked up him and Kendall Vardor, which is crazy. Shout out to them. Listen, while I don't want people I didn't want Kendall Vardor on this team. While I don't want him on this team, it doesn't mean that I just hope his career is going to be absolutely horrible. Like, hopefully you go out. This just was not the spot for you. But you're talking about the Bears do acquire 3 players yesterday. What do you think about those 3 players are going to bring to the Chicago Bears?
I think they're going to bring everything that the coaching staff is looking for. First and foremost, hey, we can't go back to 2018 to where we seen Cody Parkey screw up field goal after field goal after field goal, and it cost us a playoff game. So now we're looking at that type of situation now that's present to where Velus Jones, he screwed up games last season on the punt return and handling that, and gave away some things as well. So I commend Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham and all those guys getting together and saying, hey, we need to secure up this spot. Boom, we got a punt returner. Then they talked about Quindell, the safety who they picked up. They mentioned him on special teams. Now they added and seeing the importance of special teams as well. And then you looking at Kareem, hey, it sucks for Terrell Lewis, as I just talked about. But if you feel like somebody can come in and provide not only a pass rush, but now run defense, another area that you need help at,
Facts.
Not go ahead and fill those voids. So I feel like they looked at this and like these are some of the glaring holes that are being displayed while we're playing football. Let me go ahead and try to patch this up the best way I can. And that's what they did.
Yeah. And the Trent Taylor acquisition, I think, is going to pay off bigger than what some people are giving it credit for, bro.
I
Like,
agree.
he is electrifying. And I can't remember which page they tweeted out highlights of him as a wide receiver. I'm like,
Bro.
we're not going to use him. We don't care almost what he can bring. Like, shout out to him. If he can get worked into that wide receiver room, shout out there. But what he's bringing to that special teams is somebody that you can just bet on. Hey, man, you like Ryan Poles does it again, bro.
Yes, bro. And we always talk about it, bro, from day one. Since bro came in the office, we talked about he's looking at players who can provide value. Let's just say for the sake of discussion again, let's say somebody get dinged up. That 5 wide receiver or 6 wide receiver, Various Jones get dinged up. Or you just need a spark within the flow of the game. You can throw this guy in there and do a jet sweep. Yeah. Let's see if he can make a play. Let's just see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It won't hurt anything, but the primary job is for him to go ahead and return the ball and change field position. And we know field position is key in football. So
yeah, he's over the last 5 seasons, he's fielded 89 punts and he's got an 863 yards and average 9.7 yards per punt return over the last 5 years, bro.
Solid.
That's solid, man. So,
and I think he was one of the leaders in most 20+ yards returns too, as well.
Yes.
So that's what you need. You need good field position for your offense if you want to win games, for sure.
That's a fact. Now, one other thing that Ryan Poles came out and squashed was the Darnell Mooney trade rumors.
Thank God.
Bro. Like, and I said it when it came out. Like, I broke down the article and then I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't believe none of this, bro. Like, writers really just be searching for stuff when it's the dead part of the offseason, bro. It's crazy, man.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that he came out and quite frankly, I laughed at it. Those were his words. And that's what you want to hear, man, because we already know for the other sports team that we root for, the Chicago Bulls, they always throwing away somebody getting traded to the damn Knicks. It's always going to the Knicks.
The Knicks, bro. Like, always the Knicks.
So
I guess it's because we fleeced. Like, I think people forget too. Like, we really did fleece the Knicks last time we traded with them. We sent them Eddie Kerr, and we got the pick that became Joakim Noah.
Right. So
that's why.
It's always they trying to get that get back. But I respect Ryan Poles for keeping it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes guys, you see them get in front of the podium, they beat around the bush. So far, from what we seen from the organization right now, they're gonna keep it honest and they're gonna go out with class. That's how I see it so far.
With there being no real movement yet on, as far as we've heard, for new contracts for Darnell Mooney or Jalen Johnson for that matter, like how are you looking at those situations going into the season? Do you think they're going to be able to work it? Like, it could change over the course of the season, but where you stand right now, do you think those guys are going to get another contract with the Chicago Bears?
I believe so, and it's definitely dependent on what they can bring. Like they want to see these guys provide value, like we always talked about. Jalen Johnson, they put his goals right in front of him. Create more turnovers. Darnell Mooney, they put his goals right in front of him. You're going right back to the spot that's where you had one of your best seasons at, which is the slot. And now you got 2 guys on the outside that can allow you to operate in the middle of the field. How are you going to produce? It's all about value and production. So honestly, I'm happy they ain't get paid yet because you got to put it on wax for me.
That's fair. That's fair. A quote from Ryan Poles coming out of this says, on paper, I feel like we filled 75 to 80% of the holes on this roster. Obviously, we won't know for sure until games start, but we feel like we took a pretty good chunk out of it. Now that we've seen those 3 preseason games, even though we never really got to see all the starters in any facet of the game together all out there at one time, do you agree with that evaluation for Ryan Poles? Do you feel like they filled that many holes on this roster?
I believe so. And this all based on first getting rid of all the players that was being overpaid or towards the end of their career, getting them up out of there, and then starting over fresh with a clean slate. And then you started it off with your draft picks and you able to carry that over from last year into this year. And then you said, hey, this wasn't good enough. Let's revamp our D-line. This wasn't good enough. Let's revamp the O-line. Let's get some more help with the linebackers. And our quarterback, he needs some weapons. Let's go ahead and do that. And the defensive backfield was already solid. So, and they improved too, in my opinion. So I think I agree with him. It's definitely up there in the 75 to 80%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Bears fans who are kind of more pessimistic with this team. I understand it when you look at like some of the things that were concerns in the preseason games, but like I said, when you really think about the fact that we never even got to see DeMarcus Walker and Yannick Ngakoue out there on the opposite ends together at the same time, right? We never got to see our full secondary out there together at the same time. Like it's going to be some things that come along. Now the offensive line, I will say this, like a lot of promise in that first game. We really protected Justin Fields. It
Hmm.
was kind of up and down after that point, but I will say that we still haven't seen Nate Davis at all. And
Right.
so the uncertainty there, I kind of understand. And there's even some Bears fans like, well, he's like, I don't know if you saw it in the comment section. I try to read every comment, but like somebody said, well, I feel like Nate Davis must have an undisclosed injury. Well, Poses came out and said there are no long-term injuries except Jenkins when it comes to this
Right.
team. Do you believe that, or do you think that maybe there could be some things that they're not quite disclosing right now?
No, I'm gonna go with what they've told us, and because as soon as it was time to practice, everybody was on the field, and I
Yeah,
think that, man, like sometimes we as fans are so anxious to take the next step and see our Bears do good. We want to see everything right then and right there. It's
mhm,
preseason, y'all. Like me personally, I wanted to see the guys together and build some continuity, but we know that joint practices are good. We know that training camp is there for a reason, and sometimes the veteran guys, they don't care about preseason. You know what I'm saying? If you look around the league, some teams don't even play their first team starters on offense or defense. So
yeah.
if it's a few guys missing during training camp and preseason, I'm okay as long as, once week one start, we good and we good to roll.
Yeah, I mean, I trust it. I know that the Tevin Jenkins injury sucks. He's going to start the season out on the IR, so he
Right.
can't return until week 5. Even if he does get healthy between now and then, he's gonna, I guess, have some time to get everything ramped back up. But like, I said it, and even when we were talking about doing our post game, I really do think this coaching staff was playing mind games. Like, why am I going to
Right.
give you a chance to see everything that we can have if we're confident in it? No, we're gonna give guys
Right.
rest. Keep in mind, most of the people who set out were vets on top of that. So it's not like you got to worry about them being ready to getting into gear early. So I really do, and I hope that the confidence isn't proven like I have too much confidence in it, but I really do think this team's gonna come out week 1 and we're just gonna be like, damn, we look good, bro.
Yeah, bro, and you've been saying it all preseason and training camp. They not gonna give everybody the full playbook. They're not gonna give everybody all the ammo right away, because I believe that, before teams typically need a few games to, start really figuring you out.
Yeah,
And I think they understand the importance of week one. So they like, y'all can keep throwing Jordan Love out there for a quarter or two. We're gonna keep our guy right on the sideline. So it's gonna be a tougher time for y'all to game plan for us versus us game planning for y'all. So so all the time you was right when you saying they playing chess.
yeah. Chestnut checkers. And so I just like that. I love the fact that we have a front office that we can trust. Am I going to agree with every decision Ryan Poles makes? No.
Right.
But I trust that the vision that he has for this team, he's trying to execute that, and he's going to execute that vision the best. And one thing that we've seen consistently now over the year and a half we've had this front office in power, right?
Right.
It's all about performance. That's it. And you can't
Yes.
ask for nothing
That's it.
better, right? It's not
That's
because
it.
you're a veteran. It's not because we talked about it. Only 11 players remain on this team that were on this team when Ryan Poles took over. Because it's
Man.
all based on the performance that you bring, man.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. You keep the best around according to what scheme you're gonna run. And
Yeah.
that typically that's what happens, man. You get new people in the big places. They want to go ahead and be like, yeah, the last regime was terrible. They didn't know, they say that stuff behind closed doors. They'll probably never say it in front, but you know what I'm saying? They look at things like that and be like, nah, we can't run this operation like that. And these two guys are coming from Super Bowl winning organizations.
Yeah.
So they know what the hell they doing.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, one last thing, and we'll get into any kind of takeaways you had that I may have missed. Like Ryan Poles wasn't quite ready to say that Bajent yet is the QB2. We've heard some rumors that they could be
Right.
looking at veteran quarterbacks to bring in. Colt McCoy is one that's on my radar that I think would make a lot of sense for the Chicago Bears, considering he's been a career backup. He's
Hmm.
been solid over that, and he can provide kind of that veteran depth there. But do you think like is that a motivating factor for Tyson Bajent, or do you think that is Ryan Poles once again leaving all doors and options open in case he sees that veteran he wants to go out there and get?
I think it's all of the above, bro. You
Yeah,
got you
fair
got
enough.
to do your due diligence, man. You got to do your due diligence just in case. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is guaranteed in this league or in life, hell. But the guy he doing his due diligence, man. He he says it then every time he touches a mic. Hey, we looking at everything. And I believe him. We looking at everything. And I wouldn't be mad at a Colt McCoy signing either. You know what I'm saying? Because you want some type of veteran presence up in there for sure.
Facts. Anything left, man? Any of your takeaways, man? And like, what do you feel about now that the 53-man roster for now is set? It's Ryan Poles, so we never know. You can get some more cuts and signings today. But for right now, like, is there any glaring holes that you're worried about with this 53-man roster? Anything else you took away from Ryan Poles' press conference?
I would say no glaring holes right now. I think that this it's gonna always be questions just around the team, but no glaring holes. I think they've done their best to try to fill every hole that was right there. And we always spoke on saying that it's a process. You can't fix everything in one season. And I expect these guys to, go out and win some games. I got 10 wins for the season. I'm gonna stick to it. But the last part, one thing I took away is his comments on PJ Walker.
Oh yeah, forgot about
he admitted that he missed. You know what I'm saying? He admitted that he missed. But you gotta. That's why we like Ryan Poles so much so far, because he ain't afraid to admit that he's missed on something, and he's not afraid to do something that's out of the norm. Because a lot of people, most people wasn't rooting for PJ Walker, but to go ahead and get an undrafted rookie out of Shepherd and place him up as the number 2 QB for now, a lot of people won't do that.
That's a fact. And like, and see, that's the difference between him and like a Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace would have kept PJ Walker on the bench and just hope that we never had to see him again, right? Hope that Justin Fields stay healthy, and then he can cover up the fact that you gave this man a guaranteed $2 million. Ryan Poles gets in front of it and says, I messed up on that one. But in the same breath, you may have messed up on that one, but then you may have gotten a gem in this undrafted rookie in Tyson Bagent that it kind of offsets. So we'll see, man. It like no GM bats 100. And I think like, especially while we're still coming off a 3-14 season, a lot of people kind of, they look at the misses and they want to maximize that. But like, he's had a lot of hits over that time as well. Hopefully those hits all come together this season and we have a winning season for the Chicago Bears. And if that happens, that's all we want. That's all we need. So,
and I think, and lastly, before we go, I think a very important piece is that this guy and his staff continues to find people with high character. You know what I'm saying? That know how to go to the podium and speak, and they display it on the field. And if y'all have not seen Tyson's story about Shepherd and his dad being an arm wrestling chat, it's very, very interesting. You kind of understand why the guy is so damn poised when he come out there. Will he be great? That's still to be determined. But you can understand why he had a good preseason so far.
Facts. Let's see, man. We're 10 days away from Chicago Bears football, bro.
Get your merch ready, y'all.
Man.
Get your merch ready.
Crazy. Y'all make sure y'all got y'all gear ready for week 1, because I already got my fit, man. FGB.
Mine in the mail, baby. Mine in the mail. It's coming.
I know you bringing some heat, so I can't wait.
I gotta match it to the drip god. Y'all already know we gotta match the drip god. So if y'all ain't coming correct, don't come at all. If you wanna chill good, you gotta look good. Come on, y'all.
That's what it is, man. Bobby, any last thoughts? If not, man, go ahead and send us up out of here, brother.
Ain't got nothing else, man. Hey, get ready. Week 1, we going for the dub, y'all. We going for the dub. That's it. That's all, man. And we gonna make sure y'all just stay right here for the number 1 spot. Hit the like and then share with somebody that's gonna enjoy it, man.
Big facts, man. You guys can follow us at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, 773-242-9336. We're the number 1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, y'all. Chi-Town up, bear down in this bitch. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.